Hi, I'm Jonah Krull, and I teach guitar, bass, piano, and voice at Music Lab Nashville.
Take my jacket off. I'll take another scotch.
What is my background in music? I come from a very musical family. Actually, my aunt back in my hometown of Buffalo, New York, owns a music store. So I grew up around a lot of musicians. At family parties, we'd be playing music, we'd be screaming random songs at the top of our lungs. I started taking music lessons, piano lessons specifically, at the age of 6 or 7. Then I grew up just continuing to learn different instruments. I became obsessed along the way with guitar and stringed instruments in general. And then later that moved on to I would record my own stuff with guitar, bass, everything that I just listed that I play basically. I decided around 16 that I wanted to pursue music for the rest of my life, and so I went to school at Cornerstone University in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And then after that I studied music for a little bit here in Nashville before moving back to Buffalo, where for a good 3 or 4 years I spent a lot of time gigging in the local scene, working with other artists, writing, recording, just building my skills until I finally felt like I was ready to make the leap to Nashville, which I moved here in 2021. And ever since then, I've been touring, playing with local bands and out-of-state bands, and teaching here at Music Lab.
The way her hair twirls when she rides.
What drew me to my instrument? Well, I have a lot of instruments, so I've got a lot of little mini stories. Piano was my first love because that was just the first thing I ever played. You know, I remember hearing stories about when I was a toddler, and my great-grandma actually, would say, that kid has the music in him. So I just always was drawn to keys for some reason. But guitar, I was drawn to guitar because of 2 people mainly. One being my older brother, Ben. When I was around 8 years old, he got an electric guitar. I would always pester him about borrowing his electric guitar so that I could kind of learn how to play it. And then my best friend, Peter, from down the street, Peter played electric guitar and stuff like that. So because of those 2 dudes, I was really inspired to pick up electric guitar, and it spawned a lifelong love that still persists to this day. For vocals, you know, like I said, I grew up in a musical family, so singing was just a big part of the culture in my family. It's a great way to express things like guitar and piano can't. Why do I love teaching? Well, like I said, I grew up in a family of not only musicians, but music instructors. And so I think I always had an appreciation for teaching music, both because I was a student and then eventually became a teacher. This upcoming year, I'll have been teaching for about a decade. I think what has kept me loving teaching for that entire decade was the aha moments. It's the times where you have a student who maybe they've been working on something for a couple days, a couple months. One time I even had a student have one of those aha moments after a year. There was one lesson. I watched something in him click, and that is what I'm obsessed with. I love it. I get very excited about the younger generation of musicians, and I just feel so honored to have a part in bringing up that new generation of musicians that's someday gonna replace me.
There's just one kind of woman that keeps me up at night, and she's just my type.
What's a fun fact about myself? I have a main fun fact, and then I have like some sub facts. So my main fun fact is that I was actually homeschooled from 1st grade all the way until college. That tends to surprise people, but some of the sub-fun facts about being homeschooled is that I attribute a lot of my success and skill in music to that, because I didn't spend however many hours a day in a classroom. I would be recording my own music. I would be practicing, learning new songs, picking up new instruments, or going and working at my aunt's music store. And so I feel like that was a big reason why at 26 I am who I am today. And the sub-fun fact about that, I pick up a lot of random hobbies, and one hobby that I picked up along the way was airsoft. That led to some fun times, but I was actually shot in the eye with one of those airsoft guns. I didn't lose my eye, I can still see in it, but I definitely lost my vision for a good couple days. It was freaky at the time, but it's a good story now. Outside of teaching, I do a lot of video editing. Lately, I've been doing a lot more recording work. So one of my main loves that's not really an instrument is studio recording and production. Ever since I was 10 and I got my first little pocket recorder, I just was obsessed with trying to find ways to record different sounds. So I've been doing that a lot lately, but I'm also a touring musician. I find myself on the road a lot, playing for various artists. Mostly electric guitar, but occasionally, bass or even keys once in a while. I stay very busy outside of teaching, and then outside of music-related things, I love hanging out with my friends. I love going on random adventures, exploring Nashville. I still have so much to explore in the city. I also play a little bit of video games, I'm not gonna lie to you. So.